As everybody is aware, WWE Hall of Famer Rowdy Roddy Piper has indeed passed away. The news broke very late last night. In fact, the news broke as I was travelling back from Edinburgh from attending the Discovery Wrestling event. For those who know and for those who don't know, I have a little bit of a special connection with Roddy Piper, as I appeared on SummerSlam 2012 dressed as him. I'm on the Titantron during Kevin Rudolph's performance, and 6 days later, at Scottish Wrestling Entertainment's Hell for Lycra 9 event at the Dewars Conference Centre in Perth, I became the first guest on what is sadly now going to be the only edition of Piper's Pit to be held in Scotland. The news broke really late last night. The way that I heard the news was travelling back from that show in one of my friend's cars. He gives a few of us a lift. My brother's girlfriend, who was in the car, got a phone call from my brother Tom. He actually travelling back on the bus with another friend of ours, and he'd gone to use the bus's Wi-Fi, clicked onto whatever homepage that he had, and the first thing he saw was the report of Roddy's passing on news headlines from TMZ. He gave us a call, and when my brother's girlfriend Shan said, "You're joking," I thought perhaps they'd actually missed the bus because they were going to get the last bus, and sometimes those buses can leave a bit early, and I thought, oh, don't say they're going to be stranded in Edinburgh for the night before having to get the bus home. But no, she relayed to me that he'd just seen the report that Roddy Piper had passed away, which was very upsetting for me, for the reasons I've just mentioned. As we continued our journey home, it was being reported on many different websites. We were unsure whether to actually believe it, because you get so many rumours these days of people passing away across Twitter. Yeah, every so often you hear of, oh, another celebrity's dying, so and so's passed away, when it obviously turns out to be a false rumour started. Some people believe it, and it spreads around the internet like wildfire. It wasn't until I got home I was able to come here on my laptop, check different websites, and eventually, just after really just a few minutes, because it took me a few minutes to put on my laptop by the time I got home, and I was doing a couple of things, and to be honest, at that point I was really not wanting to put on my laptop, and I really wasn't wanting this news to be confirmed. But I did put it on just a few minutes after WWE confirmed the news, and then also Roddy's children, including Ariel and Colt Toombs, confirmed the news in themselves that their father had actually passed away. I was always a huge Roddy Piper fan. You know, one of the guys that I've always loved when I started watching American wrestling in the late 1980s was Roddy Piper. And yeah, partly because he was always billed as Scottish, although we know he was Canadian born. He did genuinely have Scottish ancestry. The fact, I think a few of his grandparents were born in the Glasgow area, which is why it was Glasgow rather than say likes of Edinburgh that he was always billed from. And I believe it's the Maryhill area of Glasgow. And really, I'm limited to 15 minutes, unfortunately, here on YouTube still. I'm just a couple of weeks away from that time limit being lifted, which is why I've deleted a few videos yesterday. Because I've been limited on YouTube to 15 minutes, I've actually been doing a podcast, on Podomatic.com and on iTunes. It's called Neil Malone's Wrestling and Life Podcast. You just search Neil Malone, the name of this YouTube channel, of course my name. You'll find it there. In the next couple of days, I will recap, but I'll do a tribute show to him, recapping the story of my tremendous week from the 19th to the 25th of August 2012, what happened during that week, and my thoughts, my opinions on Roddy Piper, because I could genuinely sit here for about an hour doing it, but I don't want to do it in different videos. And to be honest, right now at this time, I'm really not in feeling up to sitting talking about it. So in the next couple of days, I'll do it once this news sinks in, and that I'll do the podcast and I'll upload it, and I'll let everybody know that when it's uploaded. But certainly, it's just such a shock. The passing of Roddy Piper, said one of my wrestling idols for all my rest of my life now. It's just absolutely shocking news, and it comes so soon after the passing of Dusty Rhodes. And Roddy seemed to be in great health. His podcast had been on hiatus, had been on a break for a little while after this whole Steve Austin situation, but he was coming back to it because he'd been making several appearances. And it's just so shocking, such sad news, and I'm really delighted to see the outpouring of grief and the outpouring of so many great stories of Roddy, whether you had the opportunity, like myself, to meet him or whether you didn't, because I seen some of the posts on his official Facebook page, and I've seen a few of them that never had the opportunity to meet him, and I have to say, from somebody who met him, and for somebody who was on the Piper's Pit, and he didn't have to do that. I don't care nowadays whether it was suggested by Scottish Wrestling Entertainment or anybody associated with that then, or who are no longer associated with the company, or whether it was Roddy's suggestion, whoever it was, whatever it was, Roddy didn't have to do that. Roddy was in a position then, as he has been for many years, of not really needing to do something that he didn't want to do. And I've heard some stories about him reportedly refusing to do some things on a few wrestling shows that, and I've heard a couple of the stories I'm not going to go into, but some of the stories of what he was asked to do was ridiculous, and he refused to do it. So for him to do what he did for me was absolutely fantastic. And I know when I met him during the week leading up to that Hell for Like 9 event, he was genuinely delighted that I appeared dressed as him on SummerSlam. So I'll relay that story, and I'll tell my memories, my thoughts of Roddy Piper on the podcast upcoming. But it's just desperately devastating, sad news that we have lost Rowdy Roddy Piper at the age of just 61 years old. It's come as a hell of a shock to me and to many other fans, and of course to his family. And like I said, I'm limited on time, and I'm going to stop it now, because I'm really just not in the mood. I was going to go to a local wrestling meet and greet thing today with SWE, but I'm really just not in the mood, and I'm just really not wanting. I've been up most of the night with this news, and I no offence to them if they listen to this video and they expected me to appear at that event. I just can't handle it today. I just can't handle going there today. So I'll be staying home today, and like in the next couple of days I'll upload the podcast discussing my week. I've told the story here on YouTube before, and I now deleted video, but I will upload a tribute episode of my podcast in the next few days. Certainly by the middle of the next week, absolutely. I'll try and do it on Monday or Tuesday at the very latest. I'll upload but very sad news. I can only end really giving my sincerest condolences to the Piper Toombs family, Roddy's friends, anyone who knew him, anyone who worked with him. I'm glad to see, like I said, I'm glad to see the outpouring of grief, all these great stories from anybody who had any association with Roddy, who had the chance to meet him. It's so great to see on social media all these great outpourings of grief and outpourings of lovely stories of people's experiences of Roddy. So I will definitely record and upload that podcast in the next couple of days. And I don't care if some people locally may have heard this stories before, and many of them had many other great stories. I'm sure over the next couple of weeks on the various wrestling podcasts, we will hear many great stories of Roddy and people's memories of their times with Roddy. So I'm going to do that in the next couple of days. I'll upload the podcast again. Podomatic.com, iTunes, Neil Malone's Wrestling and Life podcast. It's for free, so I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to make any money off anything. It's going to be that I'll just sit and I'll tell the story of my fantastic week of the 19th through 25th of August. The meeting Roddy, how the whole thing came about. I'm sure people have heard it before, but also give my thoughts, my memories of Roddy Piper. Such desperately sad news this morning, last night, of the passing of Rowdy Roddy Piper again. I can only end it really with saying my sincerest condolences to his friends, especially to his family. For those who were close to Roddy, my condolences goes out to all of you. Roddy was such a great man when I met him. He was so kind to everybody. He always said on Twitter he never cut off a queue, and that's exactly what he did at the Asda curtain signing. I'll talk more about that on the podcast in a couple of days, but he made sure he saw everybody at the appearances he did in Scotland, and it is truly my honour that to have met Roddy, to have been on Piper's Pit, and to had the experience that I did with the Hot Rod. Rest in peace, sir. My condolences to his family. He will be so sadly missed.